most people don't know this, and it's basically pretty much been covered up for some reason. But what most people don't know is that a parasite, they know of the tapeworm parasite, and everyone's seen it. And basically, they take antibiotics, and it discharges or dies, and then it falls away, and it's harmless, right? Um, and it's because it's sharing its blood that it dies, because the pill makes you sick and makes it sick, and then it just dies and detaches. Um, or it detaches and then dies. Either way, comes out. Basically, the whole thing. Stem root to what's called. What most people don't really realize is that it's actually really invasive. If you leave them in there for years, like if you get a parasite when you're a child, and you leave it in there all your life, it literally grows with you, and it sends out tendrils. Actually, what most people don't know is that they've never really seen a parasite that is allowed to, like I say, back in the old days, we used to look at, and there you can probably go to Germany or England and actually see this, but basically, if you leave those tapeworms or those parasites in there for like 5 or 10 or 15 or some of those parasites were actually in the body like 30 years. If you actually leave them in the body for that long, the parasites, they get pretty big, actually. I forget. I think the parasite just keeps growing. I'm not exactly sure if I think some of them, sometimes they split off, but sometimes they keep growing. But they actually get really invasive, where they actually start sending out some of the old ones. There's different there's different types of parasites. Quite a few of them, in fact. And what we know is that the parasites really aren't really like those are just baby parasites. Those aren't like the big parasites. Anyway, the real parasites, what they do is that if they're allowed to stay inside the body, what they actually do is they actually start sending out tendrils they're like a parasite. Like the tapeworm parasite is actually more like a tree. It's like a living tree. In many ways, you might even compare it to like the bamboo or something like that. It actually is quite a bit like a plant. It's actually more like a plant than it is like an animal. It's like a parasite, or the parasites that we know as the tapeworm and stuff like that. They're actually just like they're actually like bamboo almost. Like I guess the closest relative would be a bamboo tree, believe it or not. Like the makeup and kind of how it works is kind of more or less kind of similar in some ways. In some ways, not really though. But it's like a living plant. And probably, like I say, yeah, you could compare a bamboo and a tapeworm pretty closely together, actually. About as close as you can get, basically, in how they work. That would be it. But basically, it's just like a plant, and it actually grows into the body. And like I said, believe it or not, a tapeworm can actually, like if it's allowed to sit there for 20, 30 years, it'll actually control aggression, mating. It actually does start to control your body, where it makes people feel more. Signs of a parasite are basically heightened aggression, heightened sexuality, believe it or not. It actually changes the way you are. Like I said, heightened aggression, heightened sexuality, definitely heightened appetite, huge heightened appetite. I mean, it's almost like it controls the people more than the people control it. Like heightened, I mean, it does a lot of things. Like I said, almost like it might even be comparable to like somewhat of a stimulant or something like that. Like it does things to the human body that people don't really realize. It's growing inside of you. Like it literally just, it takes a long time. It takes like 30 years. Like you'd have to leave a parasite. But we found people with parasites that had been in them for 30 years. And like I said, it had grown. It actually did little tendrils and stuff like that, little cells or something like that. It does this weird thing where it actually like grows like a plant throughout your body, and like feeds itself or something like that. It's something weird, and it may not be in existence anymore because I think we stamped it out. But the life cycle of a tapeworm or parasite is very interesting. Like if you look at it, it's actually a staged existence. Basically, it has one stage where it splits and multiplies and stuff like that. And then it has another stage where it attaches. And then it has a mating stage or propagation stage where it tries to get into other things. And it spends a long time like that on that stage, basically. And then it also has like other stages. where it actually is getting more and more attached and more pervasive into the body to try and get it spread around more. And it's really weird. Like if you leave a parasite inside of a human host for like 30 years, it'll actually grow inside their body and actually becomes more like almost like attached to the person. Where I mean, you can just remove it with what's called with antibiotics and stuff like that. But it has like a root system and stuff like that, which is kind of weird. Like it takes a long time for it to happen though, like 30 years, and nobody. Like you'd have to look at the old medical records really to see that kind of stuff. But if you looked in Germany or in England, you'd probably see some because we cut open because people would die from the parasites, and we'd cut them open and they would have like I don't know how big round. I mean they're really big parasites, like huge. Like you would be like that is a tapeworm, like yeah, that ½ inch of tube is a tapeworm, or something like that, or like it was like a big. It was like this big, and like it's like yeah, because sharks get them too, by the way, like I say, which is weird, and we have to take them out of them too. Like I say, they're a very base and very pervasive form of life. That's actually more kind of like a snake slash whatever. Anyway, it's very like I say, the tapeworm is so impressive that I would say that only me or else could have probably have created something like that that is that hard to kill. Because and that pervasive, like staged existence or staged life changes. Like most things don't go through stages like that. To actually have like a trigger time or a trigger point where it's like, well, when you get to here, turn. Like that is kind of like that's kind of advanced, really. Like I say, that didn't evolve. There's nothing that's not an evolved life form. That's actually like genetically created life form, something on my level that I would do. Like I say, that's how I'm like, I think I did create that because, yeah, I mean that kind of work to have something that was both, wouldn't die from stomach acids and also like a staged existence where it has like a lifespan where it gets to here and it changes to this other thing. And then it changes again, and then it like changes again. Like to do like markers like that, that's pretty advanced. That's really that. Like I say, most things just grow and die. I mean, that's a pretty sophisticated little bit of genetic coding there. So, yeah, probably. In fact, I kind of remember somebody coming to me like that. I was like, "What do you want it for?" That's just weird. And they wanted it. I don't know why. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so if you want to know about the tapeworm and the spring part about it, yeah, that's probably a commemoration of me, like my springs and metal. I would probably put that in there. Like, ugh, I hate to admit it. Like, I don't know what I designed it for or why I designed it. I guess someone asked me, I guess. Maybe they're looking for someone that could do that, something like that. Like that, like I say, that's some pretty impressive little bit of genetic coding there. For something like that. So, something on my level. So, either I did it or someone close to me who knew of me would do it because, like I say, I was the only one that could just like on the spot create genetics and create life things, and probably took a very big team to actually create a life form like that. But first of its kind, I guess. But anyway, I don't know what for. I think I asked, I was like, what do they want it for anyway? Because we created it and then we grew it in a little jar. But I mean, like I say, it's not really, like it's not like it's illegal or bad. I mean, it's just like weird. I mean, it's like whatever. I don't know, I might have put in some other stuff in it. But anyway, I mean, genetic coding is like writing I mean, genetics is kind of like writing a computer code, really. Like, it's comparable to writing a program, basically. Programming genes, like I say, very sophisticated work, and only an expert could actually do something like that. Something like me, or like I used to be, or somebody close to like upper end genetics, like really high end genetics. That's a lot more than just like that's basically doing it from scratch, pretty much. Just like the only life form or only computer that could actually do that was basically me or someone under me that learned from me or someone close to me, because like I say, very, very sophisticated work. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah,